What do you say we work really hard and we finish section 5? Hey everyone, Cristin Som here, and we are continuing with our Jingle All the Way quilt and almost close to getting the entire left side done. So yesterday we did those gingerbread snow globes, and how cute are they? Those are really fun. I thought that was just a really fun project. These little things just you move all around like a snow globe. How fun. So those were very fun. We of course have sections 1, 2, and 3 all and 4, right? Because we're on section 5. We have all of these done already, and then we have a whole bunch of extra blocks. So we are doing great, and I'm thinking that we can finish section 5 today. It will be a stretch. It will be some work to it. Probably a couple of hoopings. I haven't tested it yet to see what will fit, but I think it'd be fun to finish up section 5. So let's go ahead and plan that. So the first thing is the No Time Like the Presents. How cute is that? No Time Like the Presents, and it's an actual present block. So in my book, that is on page 10 of the oldest book. So grab your packet for that, and we'll go over what we need. So I want to point out a couple of things. There on section 5, you would be tempted because you've got this big piece of white fabric to maybe embellish it, to do something fun with it, but you don't want to do that because the bow is going to be there, and it doesn't look like the bow takes up all of it. So I might think a little bit about a stretch, but for the most part, I'm thinking no. And also the border blocks, same thing. The tag is going to be there. So you don't want to embellish those. You don't want to add to them. Your quilt, your way, do what you want, but I'm not going to. All right, so let's talk about what we need for No Time Like the Presents. I think there's 3 present blocks total. We're just going to do one today. They're big, and it's really just quilting them, but even still, they do take up space. So we're going to do them separate. All right, so let's go over what we need for No Time Like the Presents. There goes one of my packages. Whoops, I dropped it. So there's not quite enough room here. So there are 3 parts to the present blocks, and like I said, they are pretty big. I'm going to call them A, B, and C. So A will be the top part of the present. B will be the 2 sides, and then C will be the center, which is like a ribbon, like a part of the present. All right. So I'm going to start with A. So No Time Like the Presents. This is the first one. Like I said, mine's on page 10. So the first part is this white scroll fabric. So it's white on white tonal fabric. Make sure to back this with fusible stabilizer because it is white, and it is. I was going to say it's an applique piece, but it's not. It's really just similar to the border block. So what I would do is cut these a little bit bigger. And I did mention that on the prep video as well, that you may want to cut these a little bit bigger so that they'll tack down. Because in the book, it's got exactly what you're going to need in your quilt. So my recommendation is cutting it a little bit bigger. So on this first piece, let's see. So I have it at 5 by 11. So that means in the book, it'll say 4.5 by 10.5. So either one of those will work. But if you watched my prep video, hopefully you got a chance to cut it a little bit bigger. So what that will do is it'll give us a tack down to hold it in place, and in case there's any shrinking at all. And mine shouldn't shrink because I do stabilize it. But either way, 4.5 by 10.5. Right? Or 5 by 11 is my recommendation. 5 by 11. So on this one, we're going to have a piece of batting that is exactly the same as my recommendation for the bigger cutting. So 5 by 11 for your batting. I'm not going to hold it up. Yeah, I will. Here's my 5 by 11 for your batting. All right. And we're going to quilt this with Celebration 3. I believe it's in the Jingle All the Way bundle. I'm pretty certain it's in the Jingle All the Way bundle. Celebration 3, it's the bows, and how cute, because this is the bow area of the present. So on that one, we're going to want a quilting design that is 4 by 10, right? If I'm cutting it, it's 4.5 by 10.5. So 4 by 10 for your quilting. So any 4 by 10 quilting design will work. I'm going to use Celebration 3. It is the bows. All right, so that is for No Time Like the Presents, part A. All right. And then part B is the green with holly leaves on it. All right, this one, green with holly leaves. And we're going to start with this. I've got little notes all over the place because it was harder in the older directions. So my recommendation on this is 5 by 12, 5 by 13, 5 by 13. 5 by 13 is my recommendation. So that means in the book, it's got it at 4.5 by 12.5. All right. So either one of those, 4.5 by 12.5 or 5 by 13, if you can. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. 5 by 13 is my recommendation, or if you followed the book, it'll say 4.5 by 12.5. Now on this one, same thing on the batting, 5 by 13 for your batting. 5 by 13. You should see the notes on this page. Oh my gosh, so many. It's like hard to figure out what's for what. So on this one, it says to use Christmas 4 lights. Christmas 4 is the Christmas lights, and that would be super, super cute. And I may end up doing that. I was kind of leaning toward the mittens because I haven't used the mittens. I thought that would be cute. That's winter 4 is the mittens. I think that would be cute. But any quilting design that you choose, you want a 4 by 12 quilting design. All right, 4 by 12 for these. And don't forget, I said the batting is going to be 5 by 13. All right, and this is for B, section B of the present. And the last one for this is the center. It's like a ribbon for the present. All right. And this one is going to be 3 by 13 is my recommendation. So that means that the book will say 2.5 by 12.5. My recommendation is definitely 3 by 13, just to give you a little bit of wiggle room. All right. So on this one, it says to use Christmas 5, which is the jingle words. I think that will be fine. I'm going to do that. You won't really see much on this busier fabric. So on this one, like I said, 3 by 13 is my cut. So I want my quilting design to be 2 by 12. All right. Any quilting design that you choose in 2 by 12. And I'm going to use Christmas 5, the jingle one. And don't forget your batting. You want it to be the same as the bigger cut size. So 3 by 13 for your batting. 3 by 13. All right. This is for C, the present C part. All right. And I've got all my batting cuts here, but they're right there. So I just told you what to get. All right. So that is our main project for today, is to do these the present block, this one present block, which has 4 sections to it, because it's got A is the top section, and then B is the 2 sides, and then C is the center. So we're going to quilt all of those. So like I said, it'll probably take a few hoopings of quilting. All right, but since we're already working on that, I was thinking we could also do the border blocks, which are simple. We're not going to add to them because, like I said, the tag is going to cover them. That's going to be in the way. So we don't want to do too much to that. So I'm just going to switch to that page where I've got notes. So on the section 5 border blocks, grab your packet. It shows them on page 13 of the oldest book. It's actually on page 14. I said 13 through 14, but it's really 14. All right. So on this one, border blocks, we have 2 border blocks. It should be pretty simple. So let's start with border block number 9. So border block number 9, the original fabric is this, and it looks like I've got my cutting off, but that'll be okay. I might change it. I don't know. I'll look at it and see. It in the picture, it shows the zigzags going horizontally, and I did find there was another one that showed that, and it was incorrect in the book. So I don't know if this one is or not. I'll check it. But either way, you want a piece of fabric that is going to be, where do we have it? Sorry, 5 by 7. So you want, that means it'll be 4.5 by 6.5 in the book, 4.5 by 6.5, or 5 by 7. And like I said, I have mine, it shows in the book that the lines are going horizontally, and mine are not. Mine are going vertically. So, but that's okay. So on this one, you want a piece of batting that is 5 by 7. All right, 5 by 7 for your batting. And like I said, I would recommend cutting your border block 5 by 7 also, but that's up to you. 5 by 7. And then for the quilting, we're going to use Christmas 6. It is the bells, Christmas 6. I'm not sure that we'll see much of it with this busy fabric, but Christmas 6. any quilting design that you want to use that is 4x6, 4x6 for your quilting design. All right. And I'm going to use Christmas 6. It is the bells. This is for border block number 9. All right. And then for border block, oh, by the way, so on this one, this is the original fabric. If you bought from our sponsor, you probably would have received this mini awning. All right. Either one of these in 5x7 is my recommendation, or in the book it says 4.5 by 6.5. All right, and batting at 5x7. Lots of numbers. All right, last one is the border block number 10. That is going to be this black with white dots fabric. All right, and we want this to be 7x7 is my recommendation. So that means in the book it'll say 6.5 by 6.5. Either way, I definitely recommend cutting it a little bit bigger if you can. So 7x7, and then your batting, same thing, 7x7 for your batting. All right. And for this one, we are going to quilt it. You can use any quilting design that is 6x6. And I am going to use Christmas 1. It is the one with the gingerbread on it. And it'll be right above that gingerbread snow globe. So that'll be pretty cute. I'm not sure that we'll really see it on that busy fabric, but either way. So Christmas 1 gingerbread in a 6x6. All right. So that is what we're going to work on today. It is a lot, but it's just quilting, and it's just that the blocks are big, so it'll take a few hoopings, I'm sure. But I'm going to bring you over to the computer and show you how to merge some together and see what we can do to fit in different blocks. So let's go ahead and do that. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer now and I want to show you how to merge these blocks together. So I'm thinking it'll take about 3 hoopings. So it's kind of a big day, but they're like super quick, just quilting blocks. So I am thinking of adding a little something on, totally optional, but we'll go through the basics first for those that want to get started. So like I mentioned, we're going to work on that present, the first present block. So we're just going to have the quilting for that, and then the top of the present block and the 2 border blocks. So simple, but 3 hoopings is what I'm thinking, depending on your hoop size, of course. So open up Embellishment Essentials. The first thing is always to check what hoop size you're on. It looks like I'm on my 7x12 hoop. I'm going to need bigger. So I'm going to go to the preferences folder, click on that, and then I'm going to choose my 9x14 hoop. We'll see what we really need, but I'm guessing my 9x14. So then click OK, and then come up to this compass button and click H for hoop. All right, so the first one is the Christmas 4. It's the lights for the present block, and these are all pretty big. That's why we need multiple hooping. So I'm going to go, let's see, I think I'll open up the folder that I have them in. So I've got them in my Jingle All the Way. And if I go to my Jingle All the Way quilting bundle and Christmas 4 right there, double click, embroidery files, block by block, Pez. All right, and then I've got it on the view menu for being able to see them, extra large. That makes it easiest to be able to see what you're looking at. So we want the 4x12. So I'm going to scroll down till I find the 4x12 right there. 4x12 Christmas 4. So since we did it from the folder versus the merge stitch file, we're just going to grab it and drag it over. All right, the 4x12 Christmas 4 lights. That's the one I'm using. So I'm going to shrink this down. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to go ahead and move it over to the left. I'm using my left arrow key on my keyboard. And I'm just moving this all the way over to the left to give me as much room as possible without going over the hoop. Make sure not to go over the hoop. All right, and we need 2 of these, one for the left side of the present, one for the right side of the present. So I'm going to go ahead and change these colors now so that we can do a color sort. So I'm going to click outside so nothing is selected, because right now all 5 are selected. I'm going to click outside, click on 1, click on the color, and then I'm going to choose the first color that comes up for me, which is dark aqua, and say OK. Then 1, 2, click on the color. First color is Blaze for me. 1, 3, click on the color, and I want the second color down, which for me is Marine. And then 1, 4, click on the color, and I want Oriole. And then 1, 5, click on the color, Both of these are on green fabric, so you can have them join if you choose. Remember, it's the left and the right side of the present, so you probably do want them to be the same. So I'm going to choose the first color that comes up for me, that's Sprout. Say okay. All right, now we're on the 5th color, so we want to click outside. And when I say click outside, you're just clicking so that nothing is selected. All right. So now we have those 5 all ready to be able to do a color sort later. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on all of those. I clicked from the bottom and dragged up. The other way is you can click on this very first part where it's got the wording on the number 1, and that gets all 5 parts. So just make sure you've got all 5 parts, and then Control C to copy it on your keyboard, and then Control V like victory to paste it so that we have a second one. And you can't see it because it's right on top of it, but you can see in the objects window that there are now 2 files. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click my right arrow key, and I'm going to bring it all the way over to the right and hope that we have enough room. Let's see if we do. That might be a little too close. All right, so this is super close, but keep in mind that we don't have those usual 2 inches of extra fabric. We will have a 1/2 inch of fabric if you cut yours a little bit bigger, which I do recommend. But I think that this will be okay. If you have a larger hoop, you can do it even bigger, like in a 10 by 10 by 16 hoop. You could do that to have extra room. I think this will be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do this only because I know a lot of people have this 9 by 14 hoop, less have the 10 by 16. But like I said, if you feel uncomfortable with this being so close, then you could certainly do it in your 10 by 16 hoop. All right, so both of these are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a color sort. There's no other changes that are needed for this. So I'm going to go ahead and do a color sort. I'm going to move this back over so we can see how many. Right now we have 10 color steps. We should be able to get that down to 5. So I'm going to go to Utility, Color Sort, and keep in mind that I have that sprout on both of them because they're both on green fabric. It's the left and right side of the present, so I don't need to change those. But you certainly have that option if you wanted to. All right, so I'm going to go to Utility, Color Sort, and it thinks. Make sure you have these same settings that I have so that you get the same results, and it's reduced it by 5 color changes. So click New View, and there's a second tab. We can always come back to that first tab if we have a problem. You can tell because it's got the 2 designs, and Untitled 2, now they're down to 1 design. So I'm just going to quickly look, even though I'm quite sure it's right. There's the placement for our batting, our tack down for our batting. You can see that they're grouped together. So that's perfect. Placement for the main fabric and the tack down for the main fabric, and then the quilting design for both. So that one is done. That one's perfect. I'm going to say File, Save Stitch File As, and I'm going to go to my Jingle All the Way quilt right there, and I'm going to go to my embroidery files, Pez, and I'm going to name this Present 1. Present 1. I'm going to say Hoop 1 because we need more hoopings for this. So Present 1, Hoop 1, that's what I have. And in Pez for my machine, save. And then I'm going to say Utility, send to Solaris. And you can just send it to a USB stick. Either way, whatever works for you is fine. File sent to machine. So that one is done. That's only 2 of the blocks though, and we have quite a few more. I think we've got 3 or 4 more. So I'm going to go to File, New Page to start the next set. So we have the left and right side of the presents. Now we need the center of that present, and that one is a 2 by 12. Those other 2 are 4 by 12, so we want a 2 by 12. So again, I'm going to move my my screen, my workspace over and open up my Jingle All the Way and go to that quilting bundle. And this one we want Jingle or Christmas 5. Christmas 5 is the one with the jingle word. So double click on that. Embroidery files, block by block. Pez is what I use for my machine. And you can see I'm in list view now. That's fine too, but I prefer to be able to see them just in case some are horizontal and whatever you want. I like to be able to see them. So I want the 2 by 12 right there, 2 by 12. So I'm going to grab that and drag it over to my workspace. You can't see it because this window is in the way. And but there it is. So when I shrink down the window, I can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to move it all the way over to the left. All right, and then I do need to change the colors of this so that I can do a color sort so that I'm doing 2 at once. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Click outside so nothing is selected, and I'm just going to click those same colors that we did before. I'm going to move my workspace over so my head's not in your way. So 1, 1, click on the color, and I'm going to choose that first color. So for me, it's dark aqua. 1, 2, click on the color. I'm going to choose Blaze. 1, 3, click on the color, and I'm going to choose the second color down. For me, that's Marine. 1, 4, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Oriole. And then 1, 5, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Sprout. All right, and then click outside so nothing is selected. That first one is done. That's that center ribbon down the center of the present block. And then we also need the top of the present block. So that is the big white part on the top, and that's the part I'm thinking about customizing just a little. So I mentioned in the video earlier that you really don't want to customize this because the bow is going to be there, but the bow only takes up a small portion of it. So I'm thinking of adding something to the top of it, but we'll do that after. So I'm going to go ahead and start by bringing in the quilting design for that. And that one, we use Celebration 3. I think that's the one with the bow. So again, I'm going to move this over. Actually, I've got the folder open. I don't need to do that. All right, I'm going to open up that folder that we already had right there. All right, and I'm going to go to embroidery files. No, let's see, the quilting bundle. There we go. So Celebration 3, right there. Double click on that. Embroidery files, Pez. And I'm again going to choose that extra large icon so I can see it all. And I want the 4x10. So I'm just going to scroll down. There's the 4x10 right there with the bows. So I'm going to grab that, drag it over to my workspace, shrink this folder down so that we can see. And again, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on my right arrow, and I'm just going to move it over so that I've got rim. This one has a lot of rim because that 2x12, it's not obviously as big. So this one is the 4x10 for Celebration 3, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change these colors. Now that center, this one is going to be on red fabric, and this one's going to be on white fabric. So I want to make sure to change the second color so that those don't join. I want there to be a stop so that I can change my thread for a white thread when we get here. So all the other parts will be the same though. So I'm going to click on 2, 1, click on the color. And if you don't remember your colors, you can always look up here. I'm going to choose dark aqua, and then 2, 2, click on the color. I want Blaze. 2, 3, click on the color. I want Marine. And then 2, 4, click on the color. I want Oriole. And then say okay, and then 2, 5, click on the color, and I don't want Sprout because I do want it to stop. I don't want those to join together, so I'm going to use the second color down. For me, that's sea green, and say okay. All right, so those are done. If you don't want to add to it, I do want to add to it, but I'm going to finish the other parts and come back to this one. All right, so I'm going to just leave this here. If you're stopping at this point, make sure to do a file save as and send it to a USB stick or to your machine. But I'm going to do a little bit of adding to it, totally optional. So I'm going to go to File, New Page to finish up the last one. Now the last one, we have a 4x6 file and a 6x6 file. So actually, I think we can do like 7x12. Let's try our 7x12. So if I go up to this Preferences folder, this will just save on stabilizer. You always want to use the smallest size hoop that you can to save on stabilizer. So I'm going to come down to my 7x12 hoop, say okay, come up to this compass button and click H for hoop. And then the first one is Christmas 6 bells. So I'm going to go back to my folder down here at the bottom and go to the quilting bundle, and I want Christmas 6. Yep, Christmas 6. Double click on that. Embroidery files, block by block. Pez is what I use for my machine. I'm going to go to that extra large so I can see it. And we want a 4x6 for this one. So I'm just going to scroll down. There's the 4x6 with the bells. That's really cute. So this is going to be on that green fabric, the green chevron fabric. If you have the older style, I don't remember what the replacement was, but either way, a pretty busy fabric. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to drag it over. Now I think I'm going to rotate it. So I'm going to shrink that down, and I'm going to click on this design, and I'm going to click up here to this left arrow key, and I'm just going to rotate this design, click outside so nothing's selected because it won't let you move it if you rotate it. So then click back on that design, and I'm just going to click my up arrow and bring it up to the top so that I have some room for the next one. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and change these right now. And let's see, one is on green fabric, one's on black fabric, so I do want that stop. So I'm going to click on 1, click on the color, and I'm going to choose dark aqua, say okay. 1, 2, click on the color, I'm going to choose blaze and say okay. 1, 3, click on the color, I'm going to choose marine. And then 1, 4, click on the color, I'm going to choose Oriole, say okay. And then 1, 5, click on the color, I'm going to choose Sprout and say okay. And then click outside so nothing's selected. That one is done. Now we need to bring in the last one. Yep, last one. That's exciting. All right, so I'm going to go back to my folder that I have open here, and I'm going to go back to my quilting bundle. And this one I want Christmas 1. That's the one with the gingerbread. So Christmas 1, embroidery files, block by block, Pez. And I want the 6x6. I'm going to choose this so I can see it, the extra large designs, and I'm going to just scroll down. There's the 6x6. How cute is that? So this is going to be on black fabric with big white dots, so you're not going to see much of it, but you can still go, oh, that's so cute. All right, so click on that, drag it over, it goes to the center. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to move it down using the down arrow key on my keyboard. All right. You can see there's a little bit of space in between these, but not a whole lot. So you could certainly use your 9x14 hoop if you prefer, but I think that there's enough because keep in mind that these border blocks have a little bit of extra fabric, but not much. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. All right, so click outside so nothing's selected. Come back to this Christmas 1. Don't do it that way. Sorry, you want just that 2, 1. All right. If you clicked on it, just click outside so nothing's selected, come back to 2, 1, click on that, click on the color in the properties window, and I'm going to choose dark aqua because I want these to join so that I'm doing all of that batting and the cutting and all of that at just one time instead of twice. All right, so dark aqua, then 2, 2, click on the color, and I'm going to choose blaze. 2, 3, click on the color, and I'm going to choose the second color down for me is marine. 2, 4, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Oriole. And then 2, 5, click on the color, and I don't want Sprout like I used before because I want it to stop so that I have one probably with green fabric and then one with black fabric or gray on both if you want it to stand out a little bit. Either way, keep in mind that the tag is going to be covering these, so you don't want to waste too much time doing something super pretty because it's going to be underneath the tag. So I'm going to choose the second color down for me. That's sea green. Say okay. And these two are now done. Oh, color sort. Sorry, I almost forgot the color sort. Did we do the color sort on the other one? I don't think we did. We'll have to check that. All right, so on this one, we have 10 color steps. And I'm going to go to utility color sort, and it thinks. Don't forget to have these same settings that I have, and it's reduced it by 4 color changes. Click new view, open this up, and we're going to go check it. This is the placement for the batting, the tack down for the batting, the placement for the main fabric, the tack down for the main fabric, and then the first quilting design and the second quilting design. Perfect. All right, so file, save stitch file as. And I'm in my Jingle All the Way embroidery designs. I'm going to name this Border Blocks Section 5. All right, and save it. And then I'm going to send it to my machine. Okay. Now back to, so okay, I'm going to go back to that one that we did, and I don't think we did a color sort on it, right? Yeah. All right. So, because I was going to add to it, not this one. Sorry. Here, right there. Yeah. All right. So you can see we've got 10 color steps. So what we can do is we could do our color sort now. I don't think it's going to matter. So the add-on is going to be at the bottom anyway. So I'm going to do it when I'm done. We did change all the colors, right? Yep. Good. and one was on white, one was on red. So they're separated, so that's perfect. Okay, now I want to add to this. So I like to turn it. So I'm going to turn it just for now, and then I'll flip it back. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this. Again, this is just for the little add-on if you decide to add on. So in the Cristin Creates group on Facebook, I put out a post a few days ago saying that there's this free design from Ohana Applique Designs, which is a really great company. They sell a bunch of like stuffies and ornaments and really cute designs. And they did this 12 days of freebies. And there was one that I thought, oh, maybe we can use this to learn with our Embellishments program. And so I recommended that a bunch of people download that. It was a free design. So I'm going to use that just to, as an added learning opportunity and embellish our quilt a little bit. So I think that this will be fun. So what I'm going to do is for now, I'm going to rotate this design. I'm going to click left or right. It doesn't matter. I'm going to click the left button. And I'm just doing that so that I can bring in, I want to be able to see it, to be able to make some changes to it. So I'm going to move this workspace over here. I have the Ohana file here, and you have to download it and then unzip it. And then it was the ugly sweater mug rug. All right, ugly sweater mug rug. How funny that we're going to use that to be able to add to our design. I thought that would be really fun to try out something really different. So I've got the Pez file. I don't remember. Let's see. It looks like 4x4, 5x7, 6x10. I'm going to choose the 6x10, I think. So we're going to have to make some changes to it anyway, so it's not going to matter. I'm going to move this over here so I can see what happens. I'm going to just bring that whole design. I'm choosing the 6x10. And we'll probably have to make quite a few changes to it. So the 6x10 ugly sweater mug rug is what I dragged over. And you can see we've got the whole mug rug. Like, that's super not going to work for us, right? But we can do some fun things to it to learn. It's a good learning opportunity. So here's the design. It's at the bottom. I'm going to open this up, and then I don't need, this is like the placement for the main fabric and tack down and all of these things. Oh, there's even quilting on it. That's cool, but we don't want any of that. So this is where I was thinking is when we get to the embellishment part of the mug rug, and the simplest, I'm going to go with the simplest for now. So you can see the red, it's got part from the Christmas trees and part from the reindeer. I'm not going to use that. There's all the Christmas trees. Those are super cute. More Christmas trees, and then the star of the Christmas tree, and then there's these two snowflake designs. I thought that was really cute, and so I'm just going to use those snowflakes. So that means that all of this, so it's the third design, because we have those first two quilting designs, and then it is number 9 and number 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here from the right, and I'm going to drag over to the left, and I'm going to grab looks like 1 through 8, and I'm going to click delete. We don't need any of those parts. I'm just going to delete all of that. All right, and then there's this first snowflake, the second snowflake, and then we've got the reindeer antlers and the reindeer body and the mug rug parts, more mug rug parts, and this is a stop so that your needle doesn't go further. So all of these we don't need. So I just want 3-1 and 3-2. So I'm going to click on 3-3 through 3-7. So I clicked from the right over to the left and dragged down. So I have 3-3 through 3-7 all highlighted, and I'm going to click delete. All right, so now I have just those cute snowflakes. All right, very simple snowflakes. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go ahead and rotate it just so we can start visualizing where it can go. And I'm going to click the right. I clicked on the snowflakes, which is 3-1 and 3-2, and then I'm going to click the right rotate button. All right. Now I only want it on one part, and so this is where we'll have a fun learning experience, because this bottom part, so we're going to see one part of the bow, the top of the present. So here's the whole block for the present, the top of the present. The bow tie is going to cover a lot of that, but not all. So I was thinking if we just put those snowflakes just at the top, it's just a fun learning experience. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring this over, and I'm trying to look at those orange lines, ignoring the orange lines from this design, just within this design. All right, within this block here. So that, remember that orange, this is the orange I'm talking about that goes all around. That's the placement and tack down for the batting. So we always want to keep any extra designs within that. And so you can see, it's hard to see because of this other one in here. I should have done all this first, I think, but we'll figure it out. So we don't need this bottom row. We only need this top row. So this is our fun learning part. So we don't need all of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click outside so nothing is selected. You can see that this is red because we're over our hoop. Don't worry about that for now. All right, so I'm going to click up here on this stitch simulator. All right, and it's going to go through all these parts. And that's what I was saying, is if we had started with this one block, it probably would have been a little bit simpler, but I didn't do it that way. So extra learning for us. All right, so if we click on the stitch simulator, it's got all, this is that placement and tack down of the batting and the quilting design, and then the second quilting design, and then all this blue part, that's our snowflakes. So I'm going to take that stitch simulator, see it right here, and I'm just going to drag it over to this blue part because we don't care about all the parts before that. So if it runs through all of those snowflakes, I only want that top row of snowflakes. So when it starts to do that second row, I'm going to stop it. All right. So you have to do it kind of slowly, but I'll show you a workaround. So see, we're on that. You can see the crosshair down here. That's showing it's going to start on that second set of snowflakes. So what we do, see this, these arrow buttons here, this will take us back because we want to stop it when it finishes that first snowflake. So we don't want it down here. I'm just going to click that left arrow button, which is going back stitch by stitch. And then see, now it's in the snowflake. So right there. See, if we go forward one more, you can see we've dropped down to here. And this is where we don't want it. We want it to finish with this snowflake here. So right here, when you get it on that last step before it jumps to the next line, click stop. All right, and then it gives us an option to change the thread color, which creates a stop. So I'm going to change it to one that'll stand out a little bit. I'm going to choose lavender just so that we can see the change, and click OK. Now notice everything turns lavender after that. All right, so that lavender is these snowflakes down here that we don't need. So that's now 3-2, I believe. Let's see. Yep, that's 3-2. So from there, we have those all in lavender now. We can click delete because it's just those snowflakes that are on the bottom. So click delete and those go away. Now you can see we still have the second snowflake in that second row, and we don't want that either. So I'm going to, again, bring the stitch simulator all the way over to our purple part. We'll get through that first line of snowflakes, and then now it's doing the second snowflakes in that first row, and now it's down to the bottom. So see, it's down here now. You can always tell from your crosshair. All right, so stop when you get close to that or a little after that, and then we'll just go stitch by stitch. So I'm going to click the left arrow button until it gets to the snowflake up on the top row. Just clicking left arrow, it's going stitch by stitch until there it goes. All right, so now it's right here. It's up at the top. If I click the right arrow key, you can see it jumps down to that second line. That's not where we want it, so we want the one right before that. And I'm going to click stop, and again, we get to change that color. So I'm going to change it to magenta, or you could go back to lavender since we deleted that other lavender. It doesn't matter. You just want it to look different than what's already up there in the stitch simulator. So I'm going to choose magenta and say OK. And you can see all of the magenta part now is that second row of snowflakes that we don't want. So now it is 3-3. So we have 3-1 is our first set of snowflakes. 3-2 is our second set of snowflakes. Both of those are on the top row. And then 3-3 is those bottom snowflakes on the second row that we don't want. So I'm going to click on that. It's 3-3 and click delete on your keyboard. All right, perfect. Now you can see it's not really quite big enough. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just because I want it to fill up that, that quilting block. So first you want to just center it in a way. So this is the placement and tack down of that batting that I was telling you about, that we want it within there. It's hard to tell because of this one in the way. You could move it over more. You could do that. Let me show you how. So we're going to click on on the 2. We're going to click on 2. That's the second design. Click the control button on your keyboard and click the third design. All right. And then we can just move everything over so that we don't want it there, obviously, because it's over our hoop, but it's just so that you can see it better if you need help seeing it. Either way, you could have left it as is, doesn't matter. All right, so click back on those snowflakes and just make sure, all we're doing is making sure that they're within that placement and tack down of the batting, because that we want it there. All right, but I want it bigger. I want it to take up down to this end of it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on any of the corners, preferably this side, so that we can see where it's going. And I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. All right, so now you can see it is within that quilt block. It's within the placement and tack down of the batting. It's lined up just fine. You could do an align and distribute, but remember, we want to keep it up at the top of that present block because the bottom part is going to have that tag. So this was just something fun that we can add on and learn how to use our stitch simulator, how to make things a little bit bigger, how to see how to rotate, do all of that. It's just a little add-on. All right, so I'm going to click outside so nothing is selected. I'm going to click on design number 2 and click the control button and hold it down while I click on number 3 so that I can rotate both of them. Now I'm going to rotate this. I think I need to turn my stitch simulator off. So I'm going to click on the stitch simulator button here. It's the one that looks like a needle with thread coming through it. And if you hold your mouse over it longer, it'll tell you it's the stitch simulator. So I'm just going to turn that off so that that goes away. Then I can see my regular buttons. So I'm going to click my right arrow rotate button, or left, doesn't matter at all, because our fabric we're going to lay it down, doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, while it's highlighted, I'm going to click on, because it's not letting me do it. That's okay. When we rotate it, once you rotate something, it doesn't let you move it. After that, you have to click outside so nothing is selected and click on both of them. So while we're here, let's go ahead and join these together so we don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to click on number 2, design all of number 2, click the control button and click on number 3 so that those are both selected. And I'm going to go to, I think it was edit. Let's see. Yep, edit group. All right, so I'm just going to group these two so that then you can click on it and everything will just move. You don't have to worry about it. All right, so I'm just going to bring this to the center just so my little OCD brain will work with that. So keep in mind that when we sew the blocks together, you want those snowflakes up at the top, all right? Because the bottom part we'll have to keep that open for the bow. All right, so these are done. We already did our color sort. These are 2 different colors. You could have them be the snowflakes all one color, or you can have them be 2 colors. I'm thinking I'm going to have them be the same, but I'm going to leave it as 2 colors for now, just so I can decide when I get there. But if you wanted to change the color, you would just click on 3-1, click on that color, choose a color, and make it the same as 3-2. All right, so either way, if you wanted those to be the same, I'm thinking like gray would be fun. I was originally thinking blue, but there's no blue in our quilt, so I'm thinking gray instead. But you do you, whatever works for you. All right, so we need to do our color sort. We've got our 3 designs. I'm closing them up just so I can see them. I'm going to move this over so we can see how many colors we have. 12 color steps right now. We should be able to bring that down by about, I don't know, 4 or so, maybe 3 or 4. So let's go ahead and do our color sort. So utility, color sort, make sure you've got these same settings, and it says it's reduced it by 4 color changes. So click new view, and now it's all down to 1. So it is, it moved it. Oh, isn't that interesting? Oh, because now it changed our hoop size. So that's something really important. Since we had all these different tabs open, it changed to my 7x12 hoop. which that's not big enough. So make sure to go back up to this preferences folder and click your hoop that you need for this block. So 9x14 hoop is what I was using, and then everything fits within the hoop. So whew, that was a little scary at first. I'm like, wait a minute, it's over the line. But that was because of the other tabs we had open. So it just went back to the last tab, the last hoop size that we used. All right, so I went up to this compass button so I could see everything just fine. I'm gonna just run through these real quick. We've got 8 color steps. So placement for the batting, tack down for the batting, placement for the main fabric, tack down for the main fabric. And then the first quilting design, that's that one on the red ribbon for the present. And then the quilting design for the top of the present on the white fabric, and then our first set of snowflakes and our second set of snowflakes. And again, you could do those together if you wanted. I haven't decided, so I want to be sure and give myself that option. All right, so this is done. Very simple. Wasn't that fun? All right, so I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, and I'm going to name this, let's see, this is still the present. It's the ribbon and the top of the present. So I'm going to say, what did we name that other one? Present. It was something about present. I'm going to say present. Oh, there it is. Present 1, because it is our first present. And I'm going to say hoop 2. All right. Because we've got the 2 hoopings. Save. And I'm going to say utility, send to Solaris, so we can start stitching this out. You can save it to a USB stick if you prefer. So that was a small little stretch exercise. Totally optional, of course, but it was cool because we got to see the stitch simulator. We got to see how to move everything around and rotate and do all of the things. So that was a nice, easy little stretch exercise. And we've got them all sent to the machine, ready to go. So let's get started. my shirt today. This is a fun one. I love this one. So on the side of it, it says motivate, lead, inspire. And I saw that and I just thought, oh, that's a really fun sweater. So I had it in a drawer for a while. And then my friend Margie sent me a screenshot of this design. I don't recall who it's from, but I will definitely add that information under this video. But how cute is it, right? It's a bicycle with those dandelions or whatever it is that you blow on to make a wish. So, and I put my own wording. I said, stop wishing, start doing. How fun is that, right? I mean, that's so me. She saw that and she's like, I think you need this. And so I immediately bought the design and I immediately made the shirt too. So I thought that was really fun. It's a really cute design. The shirt is from Fred Meyer from several years ago. But I will add information underneath this video of where I got the design, and always is underneath the video a link to my Amazon storefront where you can find lots of different sweaters and shirts that I recommend for embroidering on. And how are you doing with your goal? So I did not work my goal yesterday. I didn't go to the gym. I just took a day off, and our bodies need that too. As long as you're making sure to get rest and sleep and drink your water and eat healthy foods. But I took the day off from the gym yesterday. So the day before that, I did a little less than 5.25 mile running on the treadmill, and I did weights at the gym. So definitely working my goal, enjoying my goal. It's going to get harder as the winter goes longer and longer because it's so cold out. Yesterday it was really sunny here and I was so tempted to go for a hike, but it was really, really cold and we've had a lot of rain, so I knew it would be muddy. So didn't work that part of my goal yesterday. Got a lot of computer work done yesterday actually, and the day before definitely running at the gym and doing the weight training. And then I'm also doing this new challenge on my bike, my indoor bike. I just finished up the whole Lake Tahoe one. That was super awesome. So now I think it's Italy that I'm going to virtually, of course. So working that part of my goal. And as far as making things in between, I'm doing that as well. And now I want to start focusing on some Christmas gifts for my kids. So I'm going to be working really hard in between our blocks to make some fun things in between as well. So how are you doing with your goal? Oh my gosh, you should see on Facebook, in the Cristin Creates group on Facebook, everybody's posting all these things they're making. They're so busy keeping up with our blocks and then also working on other projects. And I'm so absolutely enamored by you. I think it's just amazing what you're doing. I'm like, oh, I want to be like her when I grow up. So how are you doing with your goal? Share in the comments.